Hello and welcome. I am so excited to show you USLI's new website, including all of the tools and resources available to you in USLI Snap. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is head to usli.com, and as you have in years past, you're going to go ahead and click on this green broker agent login button to get logged in as our directly appointed customer. And here's where you'll see the introduction of our new web experience. And this is a really important landing page. This outlines how to create an account and how to log in. We are utilizing a new login portal for the new website, and that does require everyone to go through a one-time account creation process. So please be sure to read through these instructions before proceeding. I'm going to go ahead and click on Login to New Experience, which will bring us to our new login portal. And again, if you have not yet gone through that account creation process, before you're able to get logged into the new website here, you'll first need to click on Create an Account Now. And once you've done so, you'll be able to log in using your email address and the password that you created during that registration process. So I'm going to go ahead and get logged in. And I'm going to show you around our brand new website. So the first thing that you're going to see is just a refreshed look and feel of all of our information here. A lot of the great content that you're used to seeing in our previous website is available here as well. Information about our events and our webinars, the USLI University, our services. I'm not going to go through all of the content pages with you here today, but I do like to point out the information about our products. So whether you're accessing that product information in this banner here or in the top toolbar, you'll reach the same set of information. And you can click on any of the 5 lines that we write here at USLI. You'll be brought to a landing page that outlines all of the products written under that line of business. Alongside all of the products, you will see a hit zone, which is a nice high-level overview of that product, our appetite for it, and a quick little underwriting guide for you to reference. You'll also find all of our product-specific applications here. You do not need to use a USLI-specific application. You can send us an Accord form, a competitor's app, or information in the body of an email, but all of our product-specific USLI applications are available for you here should you want to utilize those. And the last column has to do with the quoting options that are available for that product. So as a reminder, you can quote with USLI in one of 3 ways. You are always welcome to email us for a quote, and you'll hear back from your underwriter within 3 hours. For the vast majority of our products, we also offer 2 instant quoting options. Phone quote is a great option. You can call 888-SPD-USLI and you will be connected with one of 65 underwriters in real time. And over the course of that conversation, you will have a quote sent right into your inbox. That's a really great option. And the final option is online quoting. So that's also an instant quote option. It's available to you 24/7 if you like to self-serve your new business quotes online. And that's undergone some really great enhancements with the introduction of our new web experience. And I'm going to really dive into that further in USLI Snap. So with that being said, we will head over to USLI Snap at this time. And USLI Snap is actually an application that lives within our new website. And that's really where the bulk of your actions are going to live. That's really the area where you're going to come to do your business with us online, whether that's managing your active policies, checking into payment information, running reports, or getting a new business quote online. So you can click on any of these navigation points to USLI Snap to launch that USLI Snap application. And the first thing you'll see here is a dashboard of your office's recent activity. So your recent quotes, your expiring quotes, recently endorsed policies, and upcoming renewals. This is a really nice enhancement and a way to just keep track of all of your office's USLI activity in one easy to reference place. You can also search for any policy or quote number in particular by number, by name, and you can retrieve any existing quote or policy in that way using the advanced options. Once you've found what you're looking to check in on, these action buttons are really handy. If, for example, you're checking in on an active quote, you'll have the option to bind the quote, edit the quote, or view the quote letter. If, on the other hand, you're checking in on an active policy, you'll see a different set of actions available to you there. View or manage payments, view the policy, get a certificate, get loss runs, and view the quote letter. You can also click on the policy number itself, and that's going to drop you into a really detailed view of that account, including the coverage details, all the policy documents, and the policy history if any endorsements have taken place over the policy period. And once you're in this really detailed view, you can also check in on the billing and payment activity for that particular account. I like to mention that for direct bill policies, you'll have information about how many installments it was written on, if an invoice has gone out to a policyholder, if a policyholder has made payment on that invoice, and you'll be able to view and print all of that information. Now, for agency billed policies, such as this example here, you will not have that detailed information. Agency billed policies are those that we invoice your office for directly, and the accounting contacts within your office are going to handle the invoices for those. And I'll show you where that's going to live as well under Manage Payments. Next up is Manage Policies. So this is really straightforward as well, just a dashboard of your recent policy activity and the ability to search for anything in particular. You can also come here to really easily get a certificate of insurance for any of your existing policy holders. And this is also where our forms library lives. And this is a really handy resource. This houses every single form and endorsement that we use at USLI, as well as all of our applications and our marketing materials. So you can search for anything that you need there by name or by form number. And you can also use this portion of the website to report a claim. Next up is Manage Payments, and I touched on this a bit already. This is going to be broken out into either direct bill or customer billing, also known as agency bill. So again, for all of your direct bill accounts, you can check in on installment, invoice, and policyholder payment information. This customer billing side, again, is going to be available for those accounting contacts within your office who have those special permissions to view and manage the invoices and make payments for all of the accounts that were written on an agency billed basis. Next up is Run Reports, and this is really just a wealth of information. You can run, for example, your customer scorecard, which will be your office's written premium with USLI in a given month or year to date. You can check in on your renewal retention, your direct bill commission statements. You can run loss runs, and you can also look at your production reports and detail reports, which will show you how many submissions, quotes, and binders you have with USLI. Under detail reports, you can also do things like run a policy expiration list and export that to Excel if you want to work on your renewal book that way. So lots of data and information available to you under Run Reports. And last but certainly not least is Start a Quote. This, of course, is where your online quoting is going to live. And we've made a lot of great enhancements to this portion of the website. What we wanted to do was build out more guidance for you to get you into the USLI product that's really going to best suit your applicant's needs. So the first thing you'll see here is every web quotable product listed out alphabetically with a high-level overview of what that product is designed for and the coverages and the limits that are available. And up top, there's a bunch of ways to really filter down. So if, for example, you know you need a personal umbrella, you can quickly get to that product in that way. You can also filter by product type on this left-hand side and by coverage part. So if, for example, that applicant needs liquor liability, you can select that coverage part and you'll see all the products that have that coverage available. You can also search here by product name, by class description, or numeric class code. So for example, if you select vacant, you'll see all of those vacant products those products that can contemplate a vacant exposure. And last but not least, there is a compare feature, which allows you to compare two USLI products side by side if, for example, your risk might be suitable under one or more USLI products. So lots of ways to, again, guide you into that USLI product that's going to best suit your applicant's needs. From there, you'll click on Start Quote, And you'll see two options, instant quote or full quote. The difference between the two is just the number of questions that are going to be asked up front. In either case, if your applicant is eligible, you are going to be generating full formal USLI quote terms. Instant quote is just going to have remaining prior to bind subjectivities on that quote letter that weren't presented in the instant quote script, but that need to be confirmed prior to binding. Full quote, on the other hand, is going to ask everything up front, including all of the prior to bind subjectivities. So that's going to take a couple minutes longer, but that's a good way to get really firm terms and know that your applicant is 100% eligible. Either way, you are going to be dropped into a quoting template that is hopefully very straightforward. These are the same questions that we ask on our USLI applications, and these are the same questions that we asked in our previous web quoting experience. We have not changed our underwriting questions. You'll see things like, have there been any losses or claims in the past 3 years? You can leave things unknown if, for example, you don't have the loss runs in front of you. If you leave it unknown, it will just be one of those remaining prior to bind subjectivities that still needs to be confirmed. You're going to go ahead and enter in the rating information. And if at any time you have questions, please do not hesitate to chat in. That is a team of live underwriters. They are real humans trained on our products. It's not a chatbot or artificial intelligence. Those are an extension of our phone quoting unit, and those underwriters are happy to help you at any point in time while you're web quoting to make sure you're getting exactly what you need while you're online. We also have a location address generator here that's just going to pull in valid addresses based on your location. That's another improvement of the new quoting system. You'll have the option to select your limits and do things like add additional insureds. And we have just entered enough information to generate active terms. So you can see it really is quick and easy, especially when you're doing that instant quote option. So I am going to show you around our new summary screen. We will have generated a quote number, and we will be presented with whether or not that quote is admitted or non-admitted. And we're also going to generate an active quote letter. As I mentioned, we're generating those full formal terms. So I am going to go ahead and also just open up this quote letter here to show you what that looks like. So as I mentioned, it's going to be that same quote letter that you would have received from somebody in-house at USLI with your premium and your payment options. And also, I like to point out, you're going to see those prior to bind subjectivities that I mentioned. So because we did the instant quote option, here are those prior to bind subjectivities that still need to be confirmed in order to bind the risk, just clearly listed out there. And the last piece of this attachment is always going to be a pre-filled application. Everything that you enter in through the system is going to populate here, and anything that's left unanswered is, again, that same set of prior to bind subjectivities that still needs to be confirmed. So hopefully that's helpful for you with the paperwork on the back end. Heading back to the summary screen on this left-hand panel, you can do things like share that quote letter via email with yourself or whoever else might need to see it. You can customize those quote attachments, and that includes attaching the full forms and endorsements if you want that coverage language to be attached to your quote letter too. You can scroll down here and do things like adjust limits or add locations. You can go back through any pieces of the quoting template and, for example, update a building limit or amend a deductible. If you make any premium bearing changes, you'll just be asked to recalculate the premium here. And this is calling our attention to continue to complete. That's because we did the instant quote option. We have generated those active terms, and this is giving us the option to answer those remaining underwriting questions if you want to do so here and now. So it will present you with that same set of prior to bind subjectivities, and you give you the option to confirm each of those here and just firm up those quote terms even further. I'm going to touch briefly on binding. So you do have the option for some of our products to bind online. If your product is not web bind eligible, you'll just be presented with the email address of your underwriting assistant in this top right-hand corner. If the quote is eligible for online binding, you'll be presented with the information that's needed in order to bind online. If your risk is eligible for web binding, you'll be presented with the information that is needed in order to bind online. So, for example, the inception date and the payment information. And as you provide this information here, your bind quote button is going to become available. If there are any outstanding prior to bind subjectivities, you'll be asked to confirm those once and for all, and you can bind that quote in the click of a button. You'll even at that time have the option to make payment. If, for example, you have a special event on your desk, you could come on here and quote, bind, and pay for that event in just a matter of minutes. So hopefully that really streamlines the process for you. And the last scenario I want to run through is just what happens if your risk requires underwriter review. So there are going to be certain exposures that are going to trigger what we call underwriter review. So it might be a high building limit or a specific classification or the way that you've answered an eligibility question that just triggers to us that we want to take a closer look at that risk in-house before we release those active terms online. So just to familiarize you with that scenario, if your risk requires underwriter review, you will be presented with a screen that gives you 3 options for quote resolution. You can either chat or call us for real-time quote resolution, and you'll be connected with an underwriter right then and there. They'll ask you that additional information, and they'll either let you know your risk is good to go, I'm releasing these active terms, or unfortunately, we're going to have to pass on this risk, in which case you get an immediate answer so that you can move on and explore your other markets. If you don't have time to talk to an underwriter right then and there, just click this continue button. What that's going to do is generate an email into your inbox letting you know that your risk has been submitted to an underwriter for review. At the same time, your underwriter is going to get an email letting them know that your risk requires review, and they'll get back to you in that normal workflow, 3 hours. You'll also have the option at that time to input additional information into the system if you want the underwriter to have even more on hand when they do go to review that risk. So please make sure that you take one of these 3 actions in order to notify us. We want to review every single piece of business that you send our way and get back to you as quickly as possible. So that is all of the information that I had planned on sharing with you today. I so appreciate your time, and we really hope that you find this new website and USLI Snap to make doing business online with USLI easier than ever. Please let us know what questions you have, and please let us know your feedback. We have a team that's dedicated to making this experience even better in the years to come. So please don't hesitate to reach out, and thank you so much.